Hi, this is Pete Didisheim. I'm the Advocacy Director for the Natural Resources Council of Maine, and I'm in the Maine State Legislature. As you can see, the lawmakers have left town. This place was buzzing a month ago as they're finishing up their legislative business. And now that the dust has settled, we've had a chance to complete our annual environmental report card, assessing how the lawmakers did on our priority areas that we worked on this session. And with me in this video are several of NRCM's staffers who worked over here at the State House, and they'll describe each of the areas that we've graded for this year's performance. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Matt Prindeville, NRCM's Clean Production Project Director, and I'm standing here in the Maine Senate chamber where a lot of the action takes place here at the State House. And I'm here to talk about two of the initiatives that we worked on this year. One on reducing toxic pollution in the state of Maine, and the other on promoting responsible recycling in the state of Maine. On the issue of reducing toxic pollution, we worked on two significant bills. One was a bill to reauthorize the Toxics Use Reduction Act, which is a bill aimed at phasing out the use of high hazard chemicals in industrial facilities throughout the state of Maine. We worked with Maine business leaders, including a lot of the folks in Maine's manufacturing sector, on reauthorizing that bill. We feel very excited about it. The other was a bill to get toxic flame retardants like Deca-BDE out of shipping pallets, which are used to transport everything from clothing to electronics to food. And we were very successful in closing this loophole and also preventing other toxic flame retardants from being used in place of these toxic ones that were being used. Safer alternatives are now going to be used in these plastic pallets, and it's helping to foster a national movement. We're very excited about that. Finally, with regards to responsible recycling, we worked hard with Maine's business community, the Maine State Chamber of Commerce, to create a framework to create new product stewardship programs which direct manufacturers to help collect and recycle their products at the end of their useful life. And what this does is it takes the costs off of municipal governments for recycling these products, and it also provides the incentives for manufacturers to design their products with the end in mind, so that those products are collected for recycling and turned into new products instead of languishing in landfills. For the reducing toxic pollution, we gave the legislature an A-. For the responsible recycling initiative, we gave them an A. And we feel very excited about the work that they did this last session.
Hi, I'm Dylan Voorhees, the Energy Director here at the Natural Resources Council of Maine. I want to tell you about a couple of pieces of legislation in energy and clean air that the legislature worked on this year. First of all, we're giving them an A- in the area of clean air because they passed a very important bill that will reduce sulfur content in oil that we burn here in the state of Maine, in our heating oil and in fuels used in industry. Sulfur is a damaging pollutant that causes damage to the environment and is also a public health threat. So this is a great step forward. We also gave them an A- in the area of clean energy and renewables for two pieces of legislation that they passed. One, a bill that requires developers of wind power to provide specific economic and tangible benefits to host communities. And this is a bill that will improve the permitting system and ensure that host communities get tangible benefits from wind power. They also passed an ocean energy bill that was the result of years of work by a task force that provided recommendations on how Maine can take steps over the long term to ensure we're developing ocean energy effectively and responsibly. Tidal power, deep water wind. A little bit less progress in the area of energy efficiency, notably one bill that allows municipalities to lend money to homeowners so they can weatherize their house and pay it back slowly on the property tax. This is an innovative and good program, and Maine recently received $30 million from the federal government to jumpstart this program. Less progress was made on another energy efficiency bill that would have required the Public Utilities Commission to buy energy efficiency because it's cheaper and environmentally superior. Lastly, on climate change, we gave the legislature a D because they missed an opportunity to put regulations in place that would require new commercial development to meet good standards for energy efficiency and reduce greenhouse gases so that the buildings we build for today will be ready for the future. And so, all in all, it was a pretty good session on clean energy and clean air, and we hope that we'll be able to make some important progress.
Hi, I'm Nick Bennett. I'm the staff scientist with the Natural Resources Council of Maine. This past session, the legislature worked on two bills having to do with fisheries. One was a requirement to register if you're a recreational saltwater fisherman, and this bill will help us get better data on how many fish are caught by recreational fishermen in Maine. It'll also get us a small amount of revenue to use for fisheries restoration in Maine, although not as much as we had hoped. The second bill having to do with fisheries was a culvert bill. It was originally designed to deal with both replacing old culverts and putting in new culverts. Unfortunately, the piece replacing old culverts, many of which are a problem because they look like this and they don't let fish by, that piece got punted until next session. The piece dealing with new culverts actually is pretty good and will require that new culverts are adequately sized and well placed. The third issue the legislature dealt with that I worked on was having to do with pesticide notification, having to do with letting people know when pesticides are sprayed near their houses. Unfortunately, the legislature weakened the bill that was passed last year, and so this bill will be coming back to the legislature again next session, and hopefully we'll get a better result. So in closing, on the two bills having to do with fisheries, we'll give the legislature a B, and on the bill having to do with pesticide notification, they get a C-.